I'm aligned with the white supremacists on this one, the Islamophobes.
What?
I think Muslims should go back home.
All right.
Look, we just have to respect that this is their country. This is their home. If white America, if they had the right ideology of life, they wouldn't be racist in the first place. But they don't have the right viewpoint about life. The non-Muslim Americans understand that your values contradict their values. We need to understand as Muslims, we have a home. Our comfort now is coming to bite us because we are not turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're turning to the dunya. And this is the problem. What kind of God would let his servants lose when they support him?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are back on the Islamically Correct show where we don't care to be politically correct as usual because we are trying to be Islamically correct. We're here today with Sheikh Usta. How you doing, Sheikh?
Good, alhamdulillah.
All right. We got an interesting topic today.
Is it Mamdani?
Some people hate him. Some people say, should we be supporting him? Should we not be supporting him? Should we even have a Muslim mayor? Sheikh, today what I want to do is I want to play devil's advocate, okay? Because I really want to get to the bottom of it.
Astaghfirullah.
Oh, because devil?
Just kidding.
All right. I want to play angel's advocate, all right?
All right, here we go.
All right. So I want to get to the bottom of it and figure out who's in the right, what's the right position on Muslims in America or in the West generally. Okay. Yep. When we look at Mamdani, right? His mother's Hindu, his father's a communist professor, 12er Shia. His wife is not that religious and not that practicing. He's born in Uganda, raised here in America, and he's made this his home. Right now he's representing New York. So a lot of people there's mixed feelings around him, right? But it seems like Muslims and non-Muslims both like him a lot, right? He's getting the attraction from both sides. Yeah. But then you have the other side where Muslims are saying this guy doesn't represent us. He could potentially harm us.
I guess the right wing.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems like we can definitely see a dichotomy, two sides. But I'd like to know what's the right position on him and how should we view him? Should we support him or not? What do you think?
Bismillah ar-Rahman Well, look, the issue is not easily just deciphered. We just need to understand the situation. As you can see, this his brother you said basically his surroundings not super Islamically focused, right? The most important thing is he serving the Muslim community or not? Irrespective of his belief, right? Like we have a mayor. Doesn't matter who basically becomes the mayor of New York, basically. Is he going to protect the interests of the Muslims or not, right? And to be honest, I want to be very frank. The Muslims, they just need their basic rights in this country, right?
But should we go beyond basic rights? Like, should we be aspiring to really get deep into politics or having a lot of influence in the West?
Look, I'm going to be very controversial here, okay? I personally believe I'm aligned with the white supremacists on this one, the Islamophobes.
What?
I don't know.
You're joking or is it?
I'm serious.
Okay.
I think Muslims should go back home.
All right.
I'm serious. Like, let me tell you something. Muslims don't necessarily need to be involved in politics in the West. Okay. Number one, they're seen by I don't know if it's majority or not, but a good sizable chunk of America and Europe and maybe Canada, that they don't want Muslims to come and basically impact their country or change some of the stuff about their country or become, let's say, political leaders in their country, right?
Okay.
Even if they don't change anything,
okay,
they don't like it that basically Muslims become political leaders. I resonate with that from a perspective that, look, if our basic rights are safeguarded, and sadly they're not, if they were safeguarded, we don't have to really get involved in politics as much.
But isn't that just limiting us, in the West? Meaning, well,
it looks like it. Yeah, look, it is limiting. 100% say, yeah, it is limiting. But let me explain. Like, what is our role as Muslims here in the West? There's two opinions between the Muslims on this, between the Muslim community leaders. The vast majority says that we're here, we need to impact America, we need to be part of America, we need to assimilate and integrate and be part of the social fabric of America and become powerful, just like maybe other minorities are powerful. We need to be powerful. And there's a minority, maybe I'm one of them, probably maybe the only voice basically that really is speaking like this.
Okay.
Is that no, I think we should respect the majority. The majority doesn't feel, the majority doesn't want the Muslims to take these important positions. They want these positions for themselves. Look, we just have to respect that this is their country. This is their home.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to go into other people's homes and then start basically saying, look, I'm gonna say what are you gonna do in your living room and your kitchen and you're just moving tables and chairs. I'm gonna come in like a nice guest and respect the home of the host that is inviting me to his house. We need to understand as Muslims, we have a home. And this is the problem. The problem is not necessarily like politics or not. Sometimes the act is halal, but see, there's repercussions to the act. Okay. Irrespective of being in mayor is halal or haram. Just put that aside for a second. Let's assume it's okay. I'm saying there's an impact. There's a strategic, problem here. Do we want to continue to live in America, Canada, and Europe for the next 300, 400 years, forever? Or should we go back home? Like it's a real question that we have to wrestle with. And the Islamophobes who are and the populist movement, political movements in both Europe and America are screaming for the last 10, 15 years, very loud and clear, that they don't want us there. So we should respect that and say, look, we're just here guests. And to be honest, we don't need to even be involved in politics. But as long as our rights are respected, this is where basically the issue is. So I'm not 100% aligned. I would like to be aligned fully with the Islamophobic.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's a joke, but at the end of the day, it's their stance. If both stances are equal, doesn't mean that basically I'm aligned in any way or shape with their views. But I'm just saying I respect. Look, if there's people who are not, let's say, if there's people who are not supremacists, they're just white Americans, and they're the majority. And they say, look, we want to keep America white. Okay, we want to keep America, let's say, liberal and a capitalistic nation. And Islam is contradictory to our values. And maybe they might say, look, if you guys want to stay here as guests and just don't like try to change anything about our country, we're fine. And this is the position I take. That while the Muslimin are living in the West, we should respect those host countries. Never try to change anything about it as long as our basic rights are protected. Our rights are protected. And then also basically try to have a vision to go back home. We have a home. I don't care if you're fourth generation American, okay? I sometimes ask some Muslims, they say, where are you from? He's like, well, I'm from America.
I'm born and raised, yeah.
Born and raised in America. I'm from like, let's say, Texas. I'm from Dallas. I'm like, yeah, but where are your parents from? Pakistan. I'm like, bro, just say it as it is. You're from Pakistan. Okay? You look Pakistani, even though you might, speak perfect English. And do you really want to stay in a country that your values, look, the non-Muslims, the non-Muslim Americans, understand that your values contradict their values.
Well, why? Why can't we just assimilate? Why can't we fit in? Why can't we make this our home?
Because then we have to lose our values. That's fine.
How?
Because
I can't be a Muslim in America?
No.
Why?
Well, not a Muslim in America. It's not like that. There's many Muslims in America. You can be Muslim American for sure.
Okay.
That's not the question. The issue is the issue of values.
Okay.
You want to sit here. Look, first of all, do they want you here in the first place? Number two, is the majority going to push you to lose your values?
Okay.
Meaning, 40 years from now, you're going to have great-grandchildren. Those will never be Muslim.
Why?
Because that's the reality of societies. The minorities will melt into the majority. That's how...
Like a melting pot?
Yeah, definitely. It's a sociological phenomena.
Okay.
That's how it works. The reason our communities have been thriving since the 1960s is because since the 1960s, the immigration started again and grew very fast. And since the Muslim countries in the world, which is we're 2 billion out of 8, we have the most youthful population on earth. Immigration, basically, we had lots of immigrants. And because of, sadly, the disasters in the Muslim world, many people immigrated. So we had a greater proportion than even 25%.
Okay.
Across the world, whatever it is.
Honestly, for me, like I'm born and raised in Canada, okay? It doesn't seem like Islamophobia was too... Like I became an adult after a crisis in 9/11 and maybe my parents and the elders really took most of the hit. But then after I grew up in an area where diversity in my school and it seems like I didn't really see that part. So now I can understand how people... More recently, the Islamophobic, the anti-Muslim sentiment has grown. More recently.
It's true.
The far right may use people like Zohran Mamdani and his likes and make them their favorite piñata and just basically use them to fuel the anti-Muslim rhetoric. Yeah, exactly. The fear. So I can understand that, but at the same time, like you're talking to a lot of young people, a lot of Gen Zs, and who really feel like they were, they belong here. This is my home. Yes, my parents came from Lebanon, but like...
I agree. Look, let me tell you something. Like, I was raised here myself.
Yeah.
And to be honest, basically, if you ask me where's home, from the emotional sense and from like the familiarity, like they literally from a from emotional psychological sense, this is my home. And I really, I'm comfortable here, not in terms of life comfort. Like, I like it here.
Yeah, you know the culture, the familiarity.
Yeah, like just, subhanAllah, just the human connection, the attachment. There's attachment, right? But see, at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for a purpose. The most important thing for us is not the emotional attachment to a geographic location. The most important thing is to live by the values that we believe in. Otherwise, what does our belief means? Like, if we believe in Islam, but we don't really like embody its values, we don't live in a society that embodies its values, then what's the use of Islam? Just the prayers and the fasting. And this is what we're against. What we're against is to reduce the great Islamic system of life that God have revealed to humanity for the sake of it, for the sake of human societies to live in peace and in justice. To just few rituals where Muslims can live in any non-Islamic society. No, I think if the Islamophobes have a problem with us, well, we should have had a problem with ourselves being here in the first place. Now, I'm not saying basically people should go just leave right now or whatever. We should have a nice, way to go back home, where also back home becomes equally, like, look, nobody's going to go back home to the Muslim world, right? And we should call it home all the time, whether we're born here or not, whether we're converts from here or not. Home is back in the Muslim world. Even if you're blonde, blue-eyed convert, home is over there, not here.
That's an odd thing to say.
But this is what Allah says.
SubhanAllah, but Islam didn't come to replace culture, right? It came to filter, and you can still be an American Muslim, and you can be. So when you say we're watering it down, what are the values specifically that you're talking about that makes us attached to the East?
Well, let's take, for example, simple things. Pornography is rampant, right? Okay. Nakedness is everywhere. Right. Haram relationships everywhere.
But why can't we change these things?
But because it's not our society. This is why the Americans are getting angry at Muslims, because they want to change things. We need to stop trying to change their stuff, their place, their society, and just go change ours. The reason we left ours is because we don't like certain things about it. We don't like basically the political stability and security of those countries. We don't like the economic prosperity of those countries. We don't like the educational advancement, the scientific advancement of those countries. We don't like the business environment of these countries. We don't like the legal system of these countries. We don't like the crime rates of these countries. We don't like many things about these countries. We come here because we want to live in a higher quality of life society, and then we want to change it based upon our values. But they get offended. Like, I'm not trying to defend. Look. If white America, we're speaking really about the right, okay? If they had the right ideology of life, they wouldn't be racist in the first place. They wouldn't basically care about whiteness in the first place. But they don't have the right, true viewpoint about life, right? We Muslims believe we have the right viewpoint about life, which is universal. We don't care about black or brown or white or Asian, whatever it is. We believe in the fact of what is the universe all about. The universe is a creation of God, and God has sent us revelation that structures the whole society in all of its aspects: political, economical, financial, and social. So humanity can live in peace, just like the atoms live within the systems of physics that God created.
Yeah, in order, yeah, and
You
balance.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we believe in that. Why are we coming here to change their values? They don't appreciate that. And this is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying Islam told us not to try to change these societies. Okay. We as Muslims, we have a home. It's the Muslim world. Our people are the Muslims back over there. This is what we should be changing. Not leave our homeland and our own people in a big mess and go try to change other people's lifestyles. That's not what God has said.
So I need you to...
And you could ask me, like, what's the delil for that? Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَأَنذِرْ أُمَّ الْقُرَى وَمَنْ حَوْلَهَا.
Okay.
Warn Mecca and the surroundings of Mecca. Surroundings of Mecca means the Arabian Peninsula.
Okay.
The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was not ordered by God to go to the Romans and go to the Persians, go to the Abyssinians and preach and find the place where Islam gets established. No. He instructed the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to only stay in the Arabian Peninsula.
To start with his own people.
And start with his own people to establish Islam within his own people.
So even when he went to Medina, I guess they were Arabs as well.
Arabs.
Okay.
The Arabian Peninsula, that's why Mecca and its surrounding. So today, we're saying the same order stays. It's just now, who's our people? The Muslims. What's our land? The Muslim world.
Is this like how the Prophet ﷺ left Mecca then and went to, because Mecca was his home, right?
Yes. Like that's from like the individualistic home, right? The home of the individual is Mecca for the Rasulullah. He was attached to it. Actually, when he did Hijrah, he actually cried. He's leaving the home that he lived in all his life. Wasn't easy, but he had to. Why did he do Hijrah? Because now the Yathribite society, the Madani society, now adopted the Islamic values at a social level, at a societal level. So now basically the whole city, which is equivalent to a country today, is running based upon the Islamic values. That's why he immigrated, because now that fits his belief system as an individual.
Yeah.
So let's look. If we have a communist in America, that person would basically be, dreaming about going to China. If we have a capitalist in China, that person would be dreaming of going to America.
Okay.
If we have a Muslim in America, that person should, if he's a real believer, should be dreaming about going to a society that has Islam. Now I understand the Muslim world does not really have Islam, but that's where we need to basically push a little bit and start creating more awareness and support our brothers and sisters back home to cultivate more Islam in the Muslim world, so we can feel comfortable to go back. Right?
Yeah.
Because see, if we're gonna keep it like few people sacrificing, there's 55 million Muslims in the West. But that's why basically people are screaming. They're lying. Sadly, the Islamophobes are like, yo, bro, these guys are becoming like, they're gonna get to 100 million soon.
Yeah,
55 million is a big number. Like, how big is the West? Like 450 million in Europe and 350 million, let's say in Canada, US. Let's say 400. From 850 million, you have 55 million. That's a big number. And by the way, the projections are, they look at the projection, they start their hair starts falling.
Yeah.
But again, so that's why the real Muslims who understand the world and politics and strategy and the Quran and the Sunnah will always tell you, look, Muslims should live in an Islamic environment.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to be here to live forever. Alhamdulillah, we came here. Many of us basically escaped civil wars or failed states, or even just like actual wars and genocides and so forth. So alhamdulillah, God gave us the blessings. We came here, we raised our kids, we went to universities, we got jobs. But it's time for us not to forget our homeland. And it's time for us to not be comfortable and that's why maybe partly the phenomena of the Sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that, our comfort now is coming to bite us. Because we are not turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're turning to the dunya.
Yeah, I think one thing that you said earlier is very powerful, and it's probably the main reason why most of us cannot imagine our home being back home, right? And it's because you've placed Islam on the same arena as capitalism and socialism. Like we don't really see it that way. We don't see Islam as comparing to these systems. We see it as just like a religion, obviously, that we practice at home, and everyone can practice different religions but live in a different system.
Exactly.
So that's very interesting. That's very powerful. Now I'm wondering, actually, where do the Muslims from, like, in the Seerah, the Muslims that were in Abyssinia, what was the role of them being there? Because would you say that's like comparing us here?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
It is 100%. There is no debate about this. Anybody who debates this, subhanAllah, may Allah forgive them. Today, we are like the Muslims in Abyssinia. The Muslims in Abyssinia never tried to change anything about Abyssinian society.
Is there proof for that?
Yeah, but the Seerah, the whole history.
So there is nothing that came out of there? Oh, it's interesting.
They didn't even try to even preach at a wide scale. Not really. They stayed within themselves as a minority. Alhamdulillah, the ruler of Abyssinia was a just ruler, so he allowed them to basically have their religious rights, and they lived like that until they immigrated back to Medina.
Okay.
And that's how we should be. We should be here on a temporary basis. And we have to support our brothers and sisters over there to help make the Muslim world a more prosperous, peaceful place that we can go back to. You understand? And this is the hijrah for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like a real believer is described in the Quran as one who basically does the hijrah for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the society that you want to live in is a society that should match your beliefs in your heart and your mind.
That's a big one. Okay, so going back then to Mamdani. So yay or nay? Are you pro or not?
Well, look, as I told you, it's not a simple yes or no.
Okay.
I believe today our rights has been trampled. So I am pro-Muslims going into political positions so they can preserve our rights. If this is the intention, and this is a big if.
Okay.
Look, Mamdani is a politician, and he's a very astute politician, son of a gun. The issue is he really rallying Muslims just for their votes, or does he really take our interests as something that's sacred?
Well, it seems like he is. It seems like he's...
Well, I don't know, and you don't know. Nobody knows what's in his heart because every politician has an agenda, and that agenda is secret. Only time will reveal what is his real agenda, because everybody can say whatever, talks cheap. And this is the problem today. As Muslims, we're very emotional. We get driven with a little speech, and we just move, right? We have to become more politically astute. Islam teaches us that. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Al-mu'minu kayyisun fatin," that the believer is sharp and astute. Sharp and astute, but we're not. We're emotional, bro. We don't even know the ABCs of politics. But set that aside. So that's why I would say I am pro Muslims actually getting involved to the max in political life, as long as they adhere to the Islamic rules and represent the Muslims' interest in the country they're living in. But I say it out loud that if our interests and basic rights are secured in these countries, I would say we shouldn't be doing that. That's their home. Let them basically run it as they wish. Okay? So that's why basically this is where I balance it. I'm aligned with the rights call for Muslims to go back home, fully aligned. But I'm also aligned from a perspective that, sadly our rights have been trampled both by right and the left. By the right and the left. Say it one more time, right? And therefore we need to basically push sincere individuals who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in positions of political say. That being said, I don't see many of those who basically have taken certain positions as such sincere people, and not because I opened their hearts and checked it, because their track record said otherwise. And this is where the political awareness should be in the community, to hold these individuals accountable, not just vote for them and just forget it. You see
whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim.
Well, especially the Muslims.
Okay.
But both, definitely, but especially the Muslims, because they're rallying based upon an Islamic ticket.
Okay.
So I'm voting for you because you're Muslim, and then basically you don't do nothing for Islam. You might actually sometimes vote against Muslim interests. But if you want to vote, you have to hold them accountable, because that's your vote. But we don't do that.
So some people may say that it's not possible to get into politics without having to bend some of your principles or even go against them. You have to please different parties. You have to get the votes of the people, right?
I wouldn't agree to that. I would say basically at the end of the day, Islam has rules. Those rules have exceptions if there's exceptions, and if sometimes there's no exception. So we need to adhere to them. I'm speaking in general here. There's no such thing as basically we're going to go and become malleable to adapt. There's Allah's pleasure, and that should be number one. And when we leave Allah's pleasure because we feel, we're endangered, we're this, wisdom, blah, then Allah leaves us alone. That's why we're in this mess. Ya akhi, Allah subhanahu says in the Quran that Allah subhanahu will give victory to those who give His deen victory. That's all we need to do. If we want victory, if we want success, and Nasr is success. If we want success, we need to basically work for the success of this deen.
Okay.
We need to work for the pleasure of Allah. When we do, and this doesn't mean just prayers and fasting, that's what I'm trying to say. When we do, then Allah will give us success. And when we see ourselves as humiliated, we know that the curse of Allah and the anger and the wrath of Allah is upon us. We're doing something wrong as a community. And brothers and sisters, understand that the minute we're humiliated, understand that humiliation is the result of us displeasing Allah as a collective. Because Muslims should only succeed and come out victorious in any aspect of life if we're doing the right thing. Because God is with us. What kind of God would let His servants basically lose when they support Him? Astaghfirullah, it's not befitting. Wallahi, it's not befitting. And the Quran says otherwise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He will always support the believers and make them come out. How many times basically the Muslimin failed? They only failed in very few times, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, when they disobeyed, when they as a collective broke the rules of success, the right causation for the right impact of success. But otherwise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always on their side. We as Muslims are invincible, undefeatable if we are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we see ourselves humiliated, we left the cause. We have left the cause. Period.
So speaking of Muslims in the West then, they would have to look, the left supports us a lot when it comes to all our causes, right? If we want to gain their support too, we're going to have to advocate for their stuff. But at times most times it goes against Islamic values and principles. So if we cannot make it into politics without bending some of our rules and principles, then why would Muslims even try?
No, I think we can try we don't need, look, when you say the left supports us, I've never seen the left supporting us, except basically always putting laws that infringes on our liberties and our belief systems.
Yeah, but they're at the rallies, they're at the protests,
I don't care about the rallies and the protests.
But that has to mean something.
No.
Why not?
No. We as a community should organize, and sure, sometimes basically we could make certain alliances. Might as well basically make alliances with. Why don't we basically have a better relationship with the conservative right?
What?
Yeah, they want us out, and we should go out too at the same time. Tell them, look, you guys don't like the left because the left basically is twisting your values. We believe basically the left also is twisting our values. We have too many things in common. And we agree that the Muslims should go back home. We agree on that one, and we don't like basically the left's ideological genocide of Muslims. So might as well, but we don't know how to create these alliances.
Okay, but hold on, because I'm sure you're triggering.
I have no problem. Say again?
I'm sure you're triggering a lot of people.
Well, I don't care if I'm triggering people. I say the truth. I have no problem protecting, let's say, churches and houses of worship and so forth for people. That's better for me as a Muslim. I'm proud to basically protect, for example, the family unit, to help kids in marriages, and to maybe stop pornography. I'm pretty sure we're going to see eye to eye in many things with the conservative right. You see what I'm saying? They only hate us because they don't want to see it. Let's agree on that. If we agree on that, we agree on everything. That's right wing, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but the Christians, it seems to me like we should be together against a lot of these issues because we have similar values and morals.
Yeah.
But then they are on the other side calling against us, making a lot of anti-Islamic statements and wanting us out.
Because many Muslims want to bring Islam to the West. We need to stop this stuff, man, for God's sakes. I'm trying to say, from the Quran and the Sunnah, God tells us not to go and try to change these societies. We should change our society, make it a role model where people love to be like us, and then they say, hey, can you guys help us become like you? This is how we should live on earth. Don't forget, we're living in a small world today. And the right way to preach the Dawah is to be the best model back home. Let me give you an example. Today, China. Bro, many people love what the Chinese have done. I understand there might be a little bit of difference in values, that we also might disagree with, basically, over there, the oppression state, but we're becoming that too here, basically, by the way. But look at the advancements of China. Look at the Chinese economy. Look at what they've built. Many people in the West are like, wow, they're wowed. Imagine we in the Muslim world become a greater civilization in ethics and values and the family unit and the society and no crime and technological advancement and scientific development and peace and harmony and justice, and with all the minorities respected in the Muslim world like they have been for the last 1400 years or 1200 years when we were when we were basically ruling, when Islam was basically setting the stage of how things work, because we're all about justice. Like even the Quran tells us that the closest people to us are the Christians. I believe we should open a conversation. And the majority of our community leaders need to stop saying that we need to basically gain more power and influence in America and the West. No, we don't want no power in America. We don't want no influence in America, but we just want our rights to be respected. So this is the only leeway where I say, no, we should basically participate until people secures our basic rights. Again, white America is white America. It's not us. We're immigrants, first gen, 2 gen, 3 gen, doesn't matter which generation we are. We're immigrants. We immigrated. Our parents, our grandparents, great-grandparents, maybe at max. We immigrated here since the 1960s and forward. And we should not basically try to change America. This is part of our beliefs, not because we want to be accepted or we want to be safe or we want to appease anybody. This is what our deen teaches us. What our deen teaches us is that basically Muslims in Abyssinia lived with respect. Their rights were honored. They did not try to change the system, and they were temporarily there, and they went back home. Went back home. We must go back home. But they went back home when home was stable enough for them to go back.
Got it.
So I'm not telling people leave today or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. Definitely wrong. No. But we need to help in making the Muslim world more stable, more peaceful, have a better quality of life and security so we can go back home. Like we're speaking about 55 million Muslims, don't forget.
So protecting our rights and preserving our rights while we're here
is a must.
Is a must. Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
Okay. But in the long term, our plan is to go back from because of an ideological attachment rather instead of a physical attachment.
Definitely.
Okay.
And that's why I tell, our friends on the right, I guess, maybe friends and non-friends on the right.
That's crazy.
Some of them are friends.
No.
But, that look, if you're rallying your whole people to get the Muslims out, guys, it's easy. We're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You don't have to basically be like, harsh and violent. Relax. We're on the same page. We want to leave too. You just need to speak to the right leaders.
Someone on the other side now, because of, let's use Mamdani as an example, okay? He has gained the support of the left, as well as Muslims, right? Or at least some Muslims, a good portion. Wouldn't somebody have a case if they say, we should work with the left because it's about uniting on the idea of humanity, on justice for humanity, right? And he cares a lot about different individuals.
Look, let me tell you something. I have no problem with also making alliances with the left. Okay, at least some aspect or some leadership of the left. The left is not one thing. It's a shade of many colors.
Yeah.
So there's no problem with that as long as we understand again that, look, we have values. See, the right wants us out. The left wants us in but changed.
Okay.
And that's the problem.
Okay.
And that's why I can say, look, I can see eye to eye with the right because we want out also. But the left wants us here to stay as slave labor. And also change our deen. Look, this is not acceptable. But if there are honorable people on the left that we can basically say, you know what? Hold on a second, guys. Are you for freedom? Are you for diversity? Are you for pluralism? Are you for blah blah blah? But we're Muslim. You have to respect us, and you need to stop pushing your own ideological left agenda on us. And as of 55 million Muslims in the West, we need to stand for that. We don't want to basically be part of the political equation. Right and left, let them basically do their thing. We could just stay and just watch and as I said, be nice guests here. But again, both sides trying to trample our basic rights gets us to say, hold on, we need to participate because we're going to get trampled upon. So if we can have a communication, a conversation, a discourse that's intellectual, that's rational, definitely we can live together.
100%, because we're people
until we leave.
Yeah. So I think this is a really good message. This is a hard pill to swallow, though. I'm not gonna lie. A young guy, you're talking to a young guy here. It's a very
born and bred in America,
born and raised. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. I mean, this is my language, right? I'm a bilingual, English and French. I do speak Arabic, alhamdulillah, but it's not as good, I would say, as my English and French, right? So to have that idea of, okay, long term, I have to prepare myself now to do migration at some point because that's what my deen says, and it's more of an ideological attachment. What's your message to Muslims in the West, in America, in Europe, that will help them shift their mindset? Because now I'm sure a lot of them don't have that.
Oh, yeah,
you said earlier the majority of them.
I'll give them this one message today. Lots of the Chinese are going back home. Are they better than Muslims? Is what China stands for better than what Islam and Muslims stands for?
Definitely not.
Halas. We need to live by Islam, and we shouldn't be forcing Islam upon nobody. Period.
لا إكراه في الدين.
لا إكراه في الدين. There's no compulsion in religion. So leave the West as it is. Respect as it is. And maybe when we do give that respect, these guys, they reciprocate it. And we just we focus on building the Muslim world. We focus on helping the nation building over there and to make the Muslim world a better place. Hopefully the best place in the world. Why don't we imagine a Muslim world where the white American from Texas and from Red America immigrating to live in the Muslim world because it's more prosperous, it's more peaceful, it's more beautiful, it's more tolerant. And everybody knows about the tolerance of the Muslims basically for 1,200 years. I mean, basically when the Jewish community was during the Inquisition, and aside from the Inquisition was repressed and persecuted in Europe, where did they go? They fled to the Muslim world.
Right.
And there's many Jewish authors and writers from the Middle Ages who wrote that the only place that's peaceful is the Muslim world.
I mean, and the Coptic Christians, right? They lasted so long in the Islam.
But these people immigrated into the Muslim world, escaping to the Muslim world because we are the most peaceful land. You know, that's the truth.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a hard time wrestling with this episode, and I'm looking forward to the comments. Let's see what we get, inshallah. You guys make sure to interact, like and subscribe, follow us. Send this to family and friends. Let us know what you think. You might also want to send it to some Islamophobes. They might like it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, inshallah. All right, we'll see you on the next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bless you.